Different groups of opposition supporters in Bushenyi district and Kampala yesterday took to the streets protesting continued detention of Dr Col Kiiza Besigye. Some including former FDC head of Women's League Ingrid Turinawe and Kampala Deputy Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjura were eventually arrested in the process. Later, a coalition of opposition political party leaders issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the government for release of Dr Kiiza Besigye.
If not, we shall announce a series of national actions to rise up, for people to rise up and end this impunity.
Now today, members of the civil society have joined the growing calls for government to release Dr Besigye before it is too late for him to access quality health care.
We fear that the persistent denial of access to adequate medical care for Dr. Besigye is a deliberate act, potentially endangering his life. Such politically motivated actions aim to silence dissent and suppress political opposition. The continued detention of Dr. Besigye and the cruel and inhuman treatment he is being subjected to sets a dangerous precedent for all Ugandan citizens. We therefore unequivocally demand the immediate and unconditional release of Dr. Kiiza Besigye.
We want to continue engaging and speaking with those that can speak truth to power and those that can engage in meaningful discussions with the people that can make decisions to make sure that not only for Dr. Besigye but for all the Ugandans that are suffering, whose rights are being violated in circumstances like these.
Addressing journalists in Kampala, the CSOs, including ACFIM Uganda, FIDA Uganda, Center for Policy Analysis, among others, have noted that continued detention of Besigye is not only illegal, but inhumane given his health condition.
You know, as women, as mothers of this nation, we cannot sit back and keep quiet. These are our husbands, these are our sons. Everything that happens that is against the rule of law affects us as mothers of this nation and as wives of our husbands that are being arrested.
We want to call on government to respect the rule of law, but also more importantly to ensure that there is cohesion in this country. The continued abuse of rule of law creates more division, but also breeds animosity within the citizenry.
The CSOs have re-echoed the call to the government to respect and implement the Supreme Court decision that nullified the continued trial of civilians in military courts.
The continued detention of Dr. Besigye, Haj Obeid and others is an overthrow of Article 23 of the Constitution on how a person's liberty should be taken or denied, and an overthrow of Article 28 of the Constitution on a right to a free and fair trial.
You saw Martha Karua in the country, so that is an expression of goodwill, but the international community also has to come out and expressly condemn this through different ways. One of them is sanctions.
Former Vice President of the FDC Eastern Region, Salam Musumba, decried the breakdown of the rule of law in the country.
What we are doing here is pleading with a sane government, a sane institution, which unfortunately doesn't exist in this part of the world. We are doing our very best to act normal in a very abnormal situation.
I'm Benjamin Jumbe, NTV.